Amazingly, here's what else happened in your Saskatchewan while the world was going through this recession. We broke our population record. Not once, but twice. 1,040,000 of us strong. More students and more seniors, more people in the pews on Sunday, more volunteers for nonprofit organizations, more donors to important causes, more working families, more women entrepreneurs, more businessmen, more members of the Rider Nation. Yeah. Gene, one too many members of the Rider Nation in November. Was that too soon? Maybe that. He's saying yes, it's too soon. I'll pay for that later. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the vision of this government, still relatively new and imperfect. But it is the vision of the government of Saskatchewan. It is our plan. It is the North Star guiding force for the caucus, the governing caucus at the legislature, that we would continue with the growth agenda we began to implement shortly after the election. The government ought not to, and I ought not to take credit for all of these things that have happened in the province, because the credit belongs to you and to our amazing blessings of providence that we experience, the resources that we have. But I hope you would agree that governments can help the growth of the province, of any jurisdiction. And ladies and gentlemen, our growth agenda has been our #1 priority. Its components have never changed since the election in 2007. They include a systematic reduction of barriers to growth when it is affordable to do so. And so we've reduced income taxes. We dropped 80,000 low-income people off the income tax rolls and introduced the largest single-year income tax reductions in the history of the province. And we reduced property taxes, the largest single property tax reduction last year in the history of the province. More to come in the next budget, and we continue to look for affordable new growth tax incentives. Today we announced a new royalty structure for shale gas development in the province of Saskatchewan. We want to reduce those barriers to growth. We want to be a competitive place for companies to do business. Some of the barriers to growth may not be taxes. Sometimes they're red tape. We're currently underway with a red tape initiative, reduction of red tape initiative in the government. You'll be hearing more about that, about our plan for this effort in the fall. And ladies and gentlemen, since we were elected, we've been working hard simply to bring balance to the labor legislative environment in this province so that it protects employees and employers, but it also makes us competitive with other jurisdictions. And that's what Bill 80 is about. And that's why we passed Bill 80 in this session of the legislature, because, ladies and gentlemen, we're facing a labor shortage today in the province, a skills trade shortage that's going to be only more acute as our province continues to grow. And so with this change, with Bill 80, we'll leave, I think the province of Quebec is the only province that grants a monopoly to any partner in the construction sector. We need to open it up, both for unionized construction companies, that's why CEP supports Bill 80, and also for non-unionized companies. We need to make this place the best place to do business, union or non-union, and the construction sector is vital to the future of the province of Saskatchewan. Infrastructure investment's an important part of our growth agenda as well. $2 billion invested in our highways and with our municipal partners in city streets and roads and their projects, in schools and in hospitals. And ladies and gentlemen, the best example I can think of for this room tonight about the importance of infrastructure for a growth agenda is the Global Transportation Hub, which is going to set this city apart from all, I believe, any other city in the country. It's part of the Asia-Pacific Gateway effort we were promoting in China and Japan. $50 million in financing and just straight investment from the province so far. The city of Regina, a dynamic and visionary partner in this particular initiative. $167 million slated for road construction alone related to the Global Transportation Hub that'll put us on the map in terms of North American goods transference and logistics. Over time, we believe, together with our city partners at Regina, that $2 to $3 billion of private investment will be attracted to this area as a result of that hub. It's already started, as you know, with Loblaws, and it is a seminally important project, not just for our capital city, but for the entire province of Saskatchewan. And I would also say this. Here's an attendant benefit of the project. A lot of the CP rail presence in downtown Regina, not all, but a lot of it, can move to the perimeter now, to the global transportation hub. And so, Pat, there's a whole bunch of space there that we should think about doing something with soon. A part of our global, about our growth agenda, ladies and gentlemen, an important component is fiscal probity. Fiscal responsibility has got to be at the foundation of any successful growth agenda, because if you're going to cut taxes or make infrastructure investments or invest in innovation and education, you need capacity to do that, and that means you better not live beyond your means as government. When we came to government in 2007, there was $6.8 billion in debt. There was $1.2 billion cash in the bank, to the credit of the former administration. And today, there's $4.1 billion in debt and $700 million cash in the bank. That's a net improvement of the fiscal position of the province because of debt repayment of $2 billion. And ladies and gentlemen, fiscal probity also means operating budgets, and we were the only province in the Dominion of Canada to actually reduce expenditures in the budget that we introduced this spring, and that meant there were difficult decisions that needed to be made. But I believe it's fundamentally important that we control the arc of spending of government, that we make sure we can sustain this growth agenda for the long term, and the best way to do that is to not live beyond your means as government. Engaging the world is an important component of our growth agenda. We have reached out as a government and with industry in unprecedented ways to engage with other provinces, to tell our story in other places. That's what the trade mission to Asia was all about. That's what the New West Partnership is all about. For the first time ever in the continental history of North America, we've created this dynamic new partnership, the largest free trade zone on the continent. $500 billion and 9 million people in the partnership. 3 half provinces, Alberta and British Columbia and Saskatchewan. We are going to reduce barriers between our 2 provinces that still exist. Here's some examples. If you're a rancher in the southwest corner of the province and you happen to own land on both sides of the border, technically before you move your cattle from Saskatchewan across that invisible line to Alberta, you should have your cattle inspected. We think that's dumb. If you operate a transportation company in Saskatchewan, you face different weights and measures across the invisible line with Alberta, and it's more difficult to operate, more difficult to maybe be headquartered, domiciled in the province. We think that's dumb. Here we are in Canada, a country dependent on interprovincial trade, and when you register to do business in the province of Saskatchewan, it still means you have to register in Alberta and BC, and in terms of this New West Partnership, we think that's dumb. So these are the changes we're going to make as a result of the New West Partnership.